What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. I'm back here at the Red Brick House. We just had one hellacious thunderstorm that came through here, and it's finally passed. And I want to go ahead, and we're going to be doing a live stream for a little bit later with Game Time Brian, just kind of going over Catboy and everything that is the Dallas Cowboys right now. And we had, while I was gone, Jerry Jones having a press conference. And Jerry Jones hasn't said anything since the press conference for Brian sounds like we're getting wave 2 coming through. Since Brian Schottenheimer. So I've listened to the first couple of minutes of this, and he's talking about free agency and stuff. And, yeah, we're going to go ahead and listen to it. You need to listen to it in its entirety because they'll take little pieces of stuff, and it doesn't necessarily fit what's actually going on. Let's go to the tape. Go ahead, Jerry.
Jerry, will your approach in free agency and retaining more of your own free agents be a little different this year than what we saw last year?
Well, I think the nature of it is because we already have, it's a part of really last year's plan.
Okay, part of last year's plan.
And that is when we made the big commitment to Dak, then what we had to do was think ahead from within of how to build around the commitment. Again, to emphasize, this is not a year to rebuild at all. Last year wasn't a year to rebuild. But when we made our big commitment to Dak, then the areas that we're in, we had to depend on retaining our top homegrown guys. And if you notice the area we're dwelling in, of course, this also was interior defensive line. We think Smith will come on and be what we want him to be. And of course, we may be there with a top pick early, and just according to see how it falls. But the bottom line is, this is a continuation of the plan. Mm-hmm. Now, as opportunity would come up from without that, not the draft, not from within, as opportunity comes up, we'll weigh it. And last year we would have waited, but we'll look and see the opportunity to improve on the plan that basically both defense and offense is to complement what we're wanting to do with a Dak-led team.
The plan, does that include being more aggressive, I guess, early on in free agency than past years?
I don't think aggressive is the right word.
Aggressive is not the right word.
When we see a part that a player that can take us in a direction that can improve where we're going to be pretty significantly from where we're going to be if that opportunity wasn't there, for that, whether it be the talent of that individual player or whether it be addressing any perceived places we need help. I wouldn't call us really void in any area, void if you include what we're going to do in the draft. I wouldn't see that. So as your question is addressing free agency, I'm not looking at free agency as a place to fill voids.
Okay. So you don't have any voids?
Not if you include what might work for us in the draft and what we're doing with our own roster relative to who we want to sign.
So you don't believe that you have a lot of holes, is that?
Well, but you've got to project out, but everybody has to. We've got to do some speculation about what we'll do in the draft. And we've got to have some, all of those things. We've got to have some good news on the rehab front, and we're getting it. And so obviously we've got a lot of guys that didn't finish up the year that we will and need to count on to start next year. You weigh all of that, where we think we can go. Now, you know, you have to have depth because you got to
Yeah,
If
you think?
ever there was a lesson, not a lesson, but a obvious fact of being in the NFL was last year on what you do when you have injury. And of course, we had last year we signed our at last year's availability. We signed our top 2 guys last year, and Dak and Lamb, and didn't play. Neither one of those guys were on the field when we finished up. And so the point is, we all understand everybody plays with injury, but within that, with what we can do, which we were planning on where we were going to be, frankly, under the cap this time last year. No surprises here. No surprising is where the cap was going to is this year as to what's been announced.
Micah talked about his preference for getting his deal done early enough to help build the team around him in a better way. And apparently you've begun dialogue in that regard. Where do things stand with?
Well, again, those are good, let's say they're good earmarks.
Good earmarks.
And they're all there. We know what's involved. What really counts is when you get down into it, how you can effectively get the terms to where those things are available to you once you've done the deal. Yes, we want a deal that would allow you to have room to, usually these contracts that you make with players give you more room. And that's good. I don't believe that in any way that not signing Dak, for instance, or not signing Lamb hurt us in any way last year on what we did in free agency. I know that's been implied, but it didn't at all, because we had available dollars or could make available dollars to have done what we wanted to do. The point is that apart from having a 7-win season, which is a disruptor, and really one that should cause you to get on the edge of your seat and cause you to rethink of any areas that need your attention. Apart from that, what we're doing now is, from my perspective, I was planning on doing a year ago and getting set up so that we could do it a year ago. And when we didn't do some of the things that obviously we got, let's say, criticized for, when we didn't do it, didn't do it for some of the reasons we're doing right now. We were planning on keeping those all along.
I know you're not on the clock, but would you like to get Micah done early just to get it out the way so he can be involved with the offseason program? You got a new coaching staff. Is there any plan to try to get him done early?
I don't have a like, and I know what you're trying to say, but I don't look at it that way.
You need
that's
to.
like looking at amounts. That's like looking at years. When you do it, what counts is when you're out there for that kickoff and any preparation time. All of those things count. And to the end that you have to miss preparation time on any of these issues, not Micah's, but on any of them. When you miss preparation time, that's a factor. But that's a part of it. That is what the representation. Those are a part of his cards, to talk about time and being available for time, and that's a part of the cards that are used in terms of, well, going ahead now. Usually now, and when you don't do now, is because of either the amount or the term to be tried.
We're getting Jerry
And
speak.
so that is a process that does get narrow as you go along. We criticize because we wait to the end to basically what you would call the end, and that is lining up for the first game. It just happens that way. I've been one of the earliest out on several contracts in my 35 years.
What about adding something through a trade? What possibility would that be?
Right about draft time, picks get very premium right now. And the trades relative to draft picks for a player, this is possibly, you might call it a good time, because the round picks, to be able to use it this year, can come at a premium. Now, you've got to have your bait out everywhere, and we do. But those come to you. And they don't necessarily come to you because you've got a perfect fit back over here at a position, or you've got somebody in mind. Usually don't count on that somebody in that perfect fit knocking on your door saying, we want to give him away. That doesn't come. If you've got to go get it, get ready. You're going to pay a premium for it. They just think tariffs might add to things. Wait till you try to go over and get a player when it's you calling rather than them calling you.
Jerry Dak said recently that he feels you guys are close to the Eagles in terms of talent necessary to win a championship. Do you agree with that?
I will tell you, this time last year, I thought we'd win the division. This time last year, I thought we'd win the division. I'd lost a lot of money. If in fact you can do what we can
You
do
lost
in
a
the
lot
NFL,
of money.
and that's
Okay,
better.
you're worth $10 billion
Why?
on
Because
the Cowboys.
we'd had a good run of it over the years. I didn't plan on some of the things that happened for us last year, or that didn't happen. And so we're operating with a mentality of very competitive with our division, not just the Eagles, but with the division. Eagles are a prime one to talk to because they are the world champ. And you look good when you're the world champ, as it should be. But we'll see how it goes. It's not smart to say that we're as good or better than the Eagles right now because they happen to be the world champs. So I'm not going to be dumb there.
We got time for
One more. Obviously, picking 12, you don't want to be up here next year. You know, it's the premium pick. What's your plans or goals for that 12th pick?
Well, we've got a lot of options. The combine actually, I think, emphasized that. There's key players deep at key areas of the team: running back, defensive line, outside pressure players. So frankly, this is a good time to have where we are. We're about right.
All right.
I'm not so sure that I'd want to be any higher, and I think that you're going to get a premium player at this position.
We're going to get back to Zop.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank y'all.
Okay, so that was Jerry.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for coming. You gotta love the.
So that was Jerry Jones, kind of doing Jerry Jones speak, of course, and basically letting you know, we're all in last year, but the last year actually was for a 2-year plan, and so coming to Micah, it's not necessarily that we are going to be in a rush, so to speak, on that. So it is what it is, but they also weren't in a rush for getting CD and Dak done, and he was saying that like a week before, and next thing you know, they were finished. So we'll have to wait and see what we're gonna see. And forgive me, I've got this damn cold. So you got it right from the horse's mouth, Jerry Jones. Peace.